The U.S. returned to its bombing of Yemen on Saturday, March the 15th. The White House said that the goal was to free up maritime shipping from attacks by the Houthis. But the resumption of bombing came as no surprise to the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic magazine in the U.S. He says he'd been briefed 2 hours before the attacks began with precise information about the weapons to be used, the intended targets, and the timing. Jeffrey Goldberg had seemingly inadvertently been included 5 days before the airstrikes began in a chat group on the messaging app Signal. He'd been invited by National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. Other members of the group included the so-called principals, Donald Trump's most senior national security, cabinet, and White House officials, 18 people in all, including the vice president, defense secretary, CIA chief, and officials from the National Security Council and White House. Goldberg released portions of the chats among those principles that led up to the U.S. military action. And they show Vice President Vance was against the strikes. 3% of U.S. trade runs through the Suez, the Vice President writes. 40% of European trade does. There is a real risk that the public doesn't understand this or why it's necessary. A conversation among the principals ensues on the rationale for the bombing. It culminates in this. J.D. Vance addresses Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. "If you think we should do it, let's go. I just hate bailing Europe out again." The response from Pete Hegseth, "VP, I fully share your loathing of European freeloading. It's pathetic. But we're the only ones on the planet on our side of the ledger who can do this." And then, once the airstrikes were complete, the National Security Advisor texted a succession of congratulatory emojis. Since Goldberg's publication, shock has been expressed across official Washington.
To share classified information intentionally is illegal, absolutely. To share it inadvertently, I think technically is also illegal. Ignorance is no defense before the law.
Asked on Monday afternoon, Donald Trump said he was unaware of the incident.
I don't know anything about it. I'm not a big fan of The Atlantic. To me, it's a magazine that's going out of business. I think it's not much of a magazine, but I know nothing about it.
The defense secretary has denied that operational plans had been discussed.
Nobody was texting war plans, and that's all I have to say about that. Thank you. Appreciate it.
But so many questions are now being raised on a host of issues, not least the legality of National Security Advisor Mike Waltz using a chat app, not just to plan and disseminate details about an active U.S. military operation, but also then to arrange for them to disappear within days, despite being part of the official record. Shihab, Rattansi, Al Jazeera, Washington.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.